ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the third chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, known as Karma Yoga. And we have slowly, during these last several months, crawled up to the 42nd shloka, and the chapter ends on the 43rd. So 2 more shlokas left to be studied in this chapter. I have very many times helped you to recollect your memory and had a bird's eye view of how things have developed, the concept of Karma Yoga. Today, I will concentrate on the question that Arjuna makes as a conclusive part of the chapter, and how Sri Krishna answers to that question and at the same time prepares the introduction for the 4th chapter. This is the excellence of Bhagavad-Gita. All these 700 odd shlokas, if you read properly and if you have that insight, and if somebody helps you to develop that insight, you will find each shloka is followed by an answer to the previous shloka. And while answering, he raises a question for the 3rd shloka. And that is how the continuity goes on, right from the 1st shloka to the last shloka of the Gita. Here now, we have seen in few shlokas before, Arjuna, with great sincerity and devotion, asks Krishna, "Dear Lord, atha kena prajukto ayam papam charati purushaha anichannapi bhashneya balat iva niyojita." What does it mean? Dear Lord, I have no answer to this question, and I dare to ask you, what is the sum and substance of the question? Let us make ourselves the basis of that question, because you must never forget Arjuna is our mouthpiece. Arjuna represents the whole human society, amongst which those who are prepared to be one with God, Arjuna represents them, you and me and others who are devout students of the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna asks on our behalf, and we do go through this experience, and Arjuna has the moral courage to speak it out, and we try to cover it up. What is that? Atha kena prajukta ayam purusha. This human being appears to me at a point of time without his intention of doing so, with his dislike of not doing so, he is forced to do so as if someone gets him hold by his neck and make him do, compels him to do so. Now let us look at ourselves. Let us be honest with ourselves. If you are honest and sincere, if we dive deep within our memory, we will find there are occasions when my conscience, or my awareness, consciousness of what to do, what not to do, what is good for me, what is bad for me, but my desire to enjoy forces me to do something which I really detest doing. I don't want to do it, but I do it. This is a fact of life, especially for a person who is quite introspective, who is quite analytic of the movement of his or her own mind. Atha kena prajukta ayam purusha. What is that force that forces a human being, papamacharati, does something which is vicious, which is evil, which is known as viceful activity? He is not willing to do so, anichchanapi, not willing to do so, but as if he is forced to do so, balat iva, as if forcefully somebody is making him to do. This is the last question that Arjuna asks in this chapter, and that is probably Shloka 38 or 39. I'm not really sure. Let me be sure. Yes, Shloka number 36 probably. 37. Shloka number 37. After 37, we have stirred 38, 39, 40, 41. We have an answer to that. That they are from these indriyas, these deep-seated, unfulfilled desire in our mind, they are strong enough to hold us by our neck and make us do so, though we do not want to do so. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajaguna samudbhava, mahashanomo mahapapna, Viddhi enam iha vaidinam. Kama and Krodha. Of the 6 propensities which are part and parcel of this biological entity known as a human being, what are those 6 propensities? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Let me just quickly translate it for you. Kama is an inordinate, strong desire. Kama. Lust is the most deep-seated desire. Putraishana, Vittaishana, Jashaishana. 3. Anyway, Krodha is anger. When does it happen? When I find an obstacle in the fulfillment of my desire, I lose my top off. I blow my top off. I'm angry. Kama, Krodha. Lobha is greed. Endless greed. The more I fulfill it, the more it grows. Moha is confused thinking. I lose my sense of propriety, what to do, what not to do, how to behave, how not to behave. I lose my sense of propriety, propelled by the fulfillment of my desire. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Mother is vanity, pride, egocentric activities. And Matsarja is the separateness between you and me has such a strong hold on me. If somebody praises you and not me, I feel jealous. Why should I not be praised? I desire to be praised. I desire to be respected. I desire to be venerated. Why not me? Why he? And I get jealous. These 6 propensities are part and parcel of human personality, along with 4 positive qualities: rationality, emotionality, ingenuity, and unstoppable willpower. So, you are the fulcrum. I am the master of this house, the ego. I have these 4 faculties. I am a victim of these 6 propensities. I have the willpower, I have the rationality, I have the emotionality, the ingenuity. With these 4, how can I manage those 6? And if you are introspective enough, you will find the primary propensity, the strongest propensity of those 6 is the force known as desire. Ethical or unethical. So now Sri Krishna, in the last few shlokas, of which we have read 4 of them, in the last 2 shlokas, he is going to sum it up. And he will tell you right on your face whether you are in a position to understand the subtleties of it now or not is immaterial, but the truth will be told and told very clearly right on your face for you to think over it, to rationalize it, to be emotionally involved to correct it by the help of your willpower and the capacity of ingenuity. I will do it the way is convenient for me to do. Kartum akartum annatha kartum bhashakyam. I will do it. I will not do it. Yes, I will do it the way I think proper. This is human ingenuity, the freedom of human activity. So now, with this background, let us start on the 42nd shloka, or the 41st. Having described the force known as desire, which activates through my sense organs and the objects of the world. I'll give you an example elaborating what we read in the 2nd chapter. What is it? I have gone out for a relaxing walk. I have no other intention. I go out on a relaxing walk, and I am walking down the downtown with all window shops. Each and every shop has their window dressing. advertising their wares. I am walking, enjoying my evening walk. All of a sudden, my eyes, the visual organ, falls on a mannequin. And that mannequin has a wonderful coat on. A wonderful coat. As soon as my eyes fall on it, the first step is I admire it. I look it again and I see it's a beautifully designed right from your neck down to your waist, up to your wrists. It covers you up properly. You admire the design. That is the first interaction. My eyes have fallen on an object of vision, the coat on the mannequin, and I stop and I start appreciating and admiring that creation, Taylor's creation. And while admiring, I analyze the utility of that object, how it could be utilized. And the third step is, it is very cold, it is midwinter. Why don't I have it? I need it. So the third step is, you admire the creation, you appreciate its utility, and third, you feel a necessity. Oh, my coat is worn. My coat is not so warm. Even in this cold, I am wearing it, but still I am shaking in my bones. I need it. It is necessary for me. I justify it by bringing in the element of necessity. And the fifth is, I must have it for myself. It's very subtle, but when you hear this analysis, you feel that yes, that is how it happens, but I do not analyze it. It is so subtle, quick movement of the mind, I have not educated myself to see it. And where do you end up? You buy it and you possess it and you say, it is mine. The ownership, the desire, the admiration, the appreciation, the necessity, utility, the necessity I require ends up in I owning it. The cycle is complete. You had no intention of buying a coat. Your intention was an evening stroll, a relaxing walk. Being a victim of your uncontrolled move of your indriya, your sense organs, you have landed yourself in an ownership of a thing which had appealed to you. This formulation applies everywhere, every moment of my life. 5 sense organs. The eyes, the object of vision; nose, object of fragrance; ears, object of sound; touch, object of touching objects; and taste. It happens spontaneously. and I am involved and active. Having described this activity of the sense organs, in shloka number 41, Sri Krishna says, therefore, having explained all this beforehand, right from the second chapter, Dhyayato Vishayan Pungsha Sangaseshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Bhramshad Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranachati. This is the sequence that he has explained in the end of the second chapter. Now that very same idea is in the third chapter. There he recites how things happen. Here he would say how you should educate yourself from that spontaneous procedure from happening. Tasmat, having explained everything to you, he concludes, therefore, my dear student, tvam, you, adu, right in the beginning, niyamya bharatarshava. Indriyani adu niyamya. Get control on the movement of the 5 sense organs. Literal meaning, niyamana is a Sanskrit word. Control or managing is the English translated word. 2 words. What is the procedure? This is what the inner meaning of the Gita is. The procedure is to be heard from the teacher. Whether you read Shankar Bhashya, whether you read Ramanuj Bhashya, whether you read Madhusudan Saraswati's Tika or Anandagiri's Tika, all that you are doing is you are trying to expose yourself to ideas emanating from other sources. Guru Vedanta Vakya, Acharya Vedanta Upadesha, teacher and the sum and substance of the spiritual wisdom in the scriptures. Here he says, having explained to you everything, including what I have told you in the second chapter, all that put together, now I will tell you what to do, how to go about it. Therefore, tasmat tvam, you, indriyani adu niyamya. Control or manage your sense organs first. You are capable of doing it because you are one of the mighty descendants of Maharaja Bharata. You are Bharata Kula Udbhava. You are a bull amongst that family, that clan. He is telling him that strength is in you to manage it. And then he says, Papmanam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashanham. Look, it leads to vice. Vice is papa and virtue is punya. And Swamiji has given you a wonderful, universally applicable definition of the word punya and papa. Let me share it with you. Any act and deed, physical, emotion, rational, done egoistically, where you are aware you are the doer. Any act, universal, that prevents you from manifesting the divinity within yourself is a sin. You need not recite what are the acts of sin. Here is a universal definition. Any act or deed, physical, emotional, rational, with your involvement. I am doing so. If that act is an obstacle or prevents you from doing something which prevents you from manifesting the divinity within yourself, the experiencing the divine which is within you is sin. And those acts and deeds, physical, emotional, and rational, with your egoistic involvement, which helps you to manifest the divinity within you, is virtue, punyam. Remember this definition. As a monk, as a person who desires to reach the goal, I know what is a sin and what is a virtue. That which helps me to manifest the divinity within me is virtue, punya, and that which prevents me from manifesting the divinity in me is papa, vice. He says, pap nana, that is, it is sinful to follow the lead or the dictate of your uncontrolled, unmanaged desire. Kava. Prajahi, he. Jahi means to conquer and to throw it away. Prajahi means prakrishta rupena, that is, in totality without any residue left. Like fire. You have to quench the fire when you do not know when the smoldering amber will light up again. It has to be totally, and he, viniyoge nishchaye, there is no other way. Prajahi, he, enam. Why? It confuses you, it takes away your sense of propriety, it will not allow you to develop a rock-solid, crystal-clear conviction of your goal. And when you don't have a conviction of your goal, how can you reach it? You don't know how to go about it. Therefore, please kindly learn, educate yourself how you can manage and control the movement of your indriya known as kama. The most important one, the others are all related and subsidiary. That is another subject. I'll not waste my time on that. He says, niyamya. Translation, Sanskrit word is niyamana. English word is control or manage. 2 words. How do I know what is the procedure? Today I will concentrate on the procedure, the lakshartha, so that you know how to do it, how to go about it. And he has told you that in the previous shlokas of this chapter, Karma Yoga. Yoga Karmashu Kaushalam. That is, It is a dexterous way. It is a special way of performing your duties of life, which is the cause of bondage. Now with this new attitude of yours, it will be a cause of liberation. That which is the cause of bondage, by your ingenuity, your dexterity, that is converted into a cause of liberation. That is niyamana for you. That is the control for you. That is the management for you. Otherwise, 99% of readers and students, they go in for the literal meaning and they go to the idea of suppression, not sublimation. These are the two English words. And you know, in the world of ideas, the whole human society is one. It is the language which plays the trick. And because we don't go inside the problem, we are interested in the coverings of it, we never agree. Now, yogaha karmashu kaushalam. That is what he has said in the second chapter. And what is it? Acharya Shankara, one of the incarnations of the divine, who rehabilitated the lost value rationally, intellectually and spiritually, the value of the wisdom of the scriptures. He says, Tat hi kaushalam. That is kushalata. Kushalata is dexterity. Kushalata is your capacity, your ingenuity. You have to perform your duties of life. Because you have not educated yourself up till now, what have you done? You follow the spontaneous process. In the process, unknown to yourself, you develop an expectation of a result to your liking. Whatever you like to happen, you perform your duties of life and you expect a result to your liking. And sometimes it does not happen, sometimes it happens. When it happens, you say, I have done it. And you hit the sky's cloud line. And when it doesn't happen, oh dear me, what a hell of a thing. And you get annoyed with everything. And mind you, our lives swing between these two extremes. Likes and dislikes. Therefore, happiness when my liking is fulfilled and unhappiness when my desire is not fulfilled. What is niyamana now? What is that concept of control? What is that concept of management? What is the concept of dexterity? What is the concept of your ingenuity? That which has the character of binding you down. You remove that character and it becomes a means to liberation. That is kushalata. That is yoga. So niyamana means, as I put it into English language, though it is much better you understand psychically the content of it. Niyamana is controlling, managing. Two different words, but you do not know how to. And left to yourself, controlling means I controlling my undisciplined dog. I bind it down, leash it, and beat it with a cane to suppress it. Suppression is one way of controlling, and there's another word, sublimation. What is that sublimation? It's a chemical procedure. You say, for instance, you get crude from the mines, crude oil from the well. Crude oil. You heat it and something comes out as a vapor. And you condense that vapor and you say it is petroleum. Wax and other things remain in the matter, but the first procedure, by heating it and managing it technically according to chemical process, that vapor is condensed and you get petrol to fuel your car. That is sublimation of that crude which has produced petroleum. Now, sublimation of your activity. What is that sublimation process? I have to do this duty of mine. There is no human which does not have a sense of duty. I have to do this duty. And now I am being told, don't do this duty with an ulterior motive or desire. Do it perfectly. Do it thoroughly, correctly, efficiently. Correctly, thoroughly, perfectly, efficiently, therefore excellently. These are the disciplines of performance: ingenuity, kaushalam. And then the last trick is, I do it as a worship to the divine. This is my worshipful offering to my divine. You are doing your duty. You are not slovenly. You are not doing it half-heartedly. You are not doing with mind going here and there. Concentrated to one point, correctly, perfectly, thoroughly, excellently, because I have to offer to my beloved God. I am not interested giving dirty things to him. Physically, you don't offer a bird-pecked fruit or a decomposed fruit to God. You don't give stale sweets to God. You don't give a flower which petal is torn to God. It must be perfect and correct. Convert your performance of duty into an endless worship of God. And what is that worshipfulness? Awareness of His presence. I am always with you, and you are always with me. And whatever I do, my dear Lord, I try to do it correctly, thoroughly, perfectly, excellently, efficiently, because it is excellent, and then I offer it. I don't have time for ritualistic worship. I've converted my flow of life into a ritualistic worship. Tathi Kaushalam. That is the trick of the trade. That is the technique, that is the procedure. This word niyamya, niyamanam kritva, by controlling it, by managing it, come out of this rut, come out of this groove. Tasmat, therefore Arjuna, now the third remaining shloka, 40-41. This is 41. Therefore Arjuna, now I come to a conclusion, the rational conclusions, the analytical conclusions of the last portion of the second chapter, and the performance-wise, how do you, after intellectual conviction, how do you convert it into performance? Intellectual conviction is in the brain, and performance is an integrated involvement of the whole human. Body, mind, intellect, organs, everything, integrated involvement of those ideas. That was idea. He has analyzed how we get involved in the world. And the basic involvement, the starting point of involvement are my five sense organs. So, let my life flow. Let me not convert myself into an inanimate object by suppression. Please never do so. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rashavarjam rashopyasya param drishtva nivartate. However you may suppress it, it is a multi-headed hydra, million-headed hydra. It will pop off here, pop off there, pop off there. Suppression is no answer. Sublimation is the answer. And what is that sublimation? In Sanskrit word, niyamana. What is niyamana? Kushalata, dexterity, trick of the trade, procedure, how to go about it. Don't think of suppression, think of sublimation. Therefore, Arjuna, in the initial stages, understand where we go wrong. And having gone through that lesson, oh, I am going wrong here. I am suppressing it. Niyamana, controlling it. I am managing it. No, please don't. Sublimate it, sublimate it. The life has to flow. You can't just put yourself into a prison, into an iron box. I see nothing, so I am safe. No, it is in you. Your past samskaras are working in you. So don't suppress. Think of, educate yourself to sublimate your propensities. Tasmat, therefore, Swami, you, Arjuna, you are a bull among the clan. You are strong enough, mighty enough. Control. Niyamya indriyani ado niyama. To start with your spiritual life, control the movement of your sense organs. Because ultimately they lead you to such acts and deeds, physical, emotional, rational, egocentric, which prevents you from manifesting the divinity within you. This is Swamiji's definition. So go in for that definition. Any act, physical, emotional, rational, and egocentric, involvement of your ego. I am doing it. I am the doer. Be careful. Control the movement of your mind. How do you control it? Do it perfectly, thoroughly, correctly, efficiently, excellently. Be absolute. I have done my very best, O dear Lord, and this is for you. Be at peace. Be at peace with yourself. Don't look back. You please be happy with me. You please bless me. No. Don't expect anything. Let him do his job. You do yours. And what is your job? To clean up the dirty mirror. The mirror will automatically start reflecting. As soon as the covering is removed, the awareness of the divinity within myself will flourish. Nobody can stop it. Therefore, he is now concluding with his final words. Then, how do I know where is that desire hiding in me? If I know his abode, I can put it on fire. Or I can drag it out by neck and kick it out from me. I would like to know where is its abode. So he is now slowly explaining to you psychically where is its abode, so that you can get it by its neck, give it a hard kick at the bottom and throw it out. This place is not meant for you. It is my God's area. This place is meant for my God, not for you. Let us read the last but one shloka. Indriyani paran ahu. Now, he's analyzing where does this desire has its secure lodgment. This body-mind complex. It is biological and also psychological. The mind is within this body. He says the gross body is material. Don't bother about that. The first subtle force are the indriyas, the sense organs. The body is annamaya kosha, it is sense organs. It is material. The first subtle thing is my sense organs. They are superior to the body because they are subtle. I can only feel which way my sense organ is running. Nobody else can. It is so subtle. So body is gross. This is subtler, para. And the human mind is the avenue through which the sense organs has to work. So the human mind is subtler than the organs. Indriyebhya param manaha. The mind is more subtle than the indriyas. Manashastu parabuddhi. Intellectual conviction has a control over the mind. So it is more strong and it is more subtle. Body, sense organs, mind, intellectual conviction. Nishchayatmika vritti is buddhi. Samshayatmika vritti is manaha. Whatever it may be. So the gross body, the higher level of awareness is the sense organs, and the sense organs can only be activated through the movement of the mind. So sense organ depends on the cooperation of the mind. and the mind can be guided by the buddhi, rationality, and that buddhi, when it is rock solid, crystal clear, that buddhi will lead you to that which is beyond everything, the Atman, the Brahman. So, dears, I thought that I'll complete the chapter today, but I would rather be very fair and honest with you. Let us not be in a hurry. Let us try to now integrate ourselves, what we learnt intellectually and rationally at the close of the second chapter. That is, what are the signs and symptoms of a sthita prajna purusha, a man whose wisdom is poised at himself. He is established, ensconced, irremovably placed in the awareness of the excellence of his own soul. That was rationally explained. Karma Yoga takes a human being in an integral organism and tells him rationally, emotionally, ingeniously, and with your willpower, how you manage yourself. Let your life flow. The flow of life has not to be stopped, but the flow of life has to be directed to another groove, not the universal groove in which we follow. I have to divert it into another groove. That is spiritual discipline. Niyamana, that is control or managing, but remember this in its translated form, tathi kaushalam. When Krishna says yoga, Sri Krishna says yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is that dexterity, that ingenuity of converting work which is habituated in binding you down. You convert it in such a manner that instead of being a cause of bondage, it becomes a means to liberation and realization. How to perform it in my day-to-day life is this third chapter, Karma Yoga, which is integrating emotionality, ingenuity, rationality, and willpower, all together to make a saint of ourselves. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. I'm sorry I couldn't complete it today, but completion is not my goal. My goal is to make it as clear as possible to our robust, commonsensical understanding. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna